What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of On the Break. We have a good one coming to you. So, we are continuing our video series of team previews for this upcoming NBA season. And the next team we have are the Houston Rockets. So, Trevon, the Houston Rockets finished pretty much tied for the second worst record in the league last year at 22-60. They also have a lot of young talent. They actually just drafted a lot of really interesting and talented players this year in the draft. And they also had some big signings and also got a new coach. So they are going to be interesting to watch this year. What are your thoughts on the Houston Rockets going into next season?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Interesting and excited to see what this team does. For me personally, I think they can compete for a playing spot. I think that it's time for Jalen Green to make that jump. This is going on his third year, I believe.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
going on his third NBA season. It's time for him to take that jump. I've seen a video of him playing pretty decent at the Team USA camp. Jabari Smith Jr., I think it's time for him to take a jump. He had a very good NBA summer league. And the biggest thing with him was feeling more, it felt like he was more quick and decisive and confident with his moves, just being more aggressive. I think they had one of the most exciting young players to watch in Alperen Sengun, their center. He
Yep.
was very good. He made a lot of nice, flashy plays. He has very good low post control, drop step, a big body. He's aggressive when he attacks the paint. So I think they have the talent. They obviously drafted Amen Thompson, the athletic 6'7" phenom point guard. And then they also drafted Cam Whitmore, who I believe won MVP for the whole summer league. He dropped down pretty far in the draft. He was expected to go lottery, didn't go. And I feel like he had a chip on the shoulder and had something to prove in the summer league. So those are good young talents. You mentioned they had pretty good signings, Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. Those are going to be the veteran leadership. I feel that you need to, help these guys to grow. Dylan Brooks brings a defensive and tough mentality to the team, which I believe was, defense was not their calling card. They were the 28th worst defensive team, also the 28th worst offensive team. So they have a lot of improvement to do. It's just going to be about growing, getting the young talent to, define their roles and, figure out who they are, become more confident and understanding each other to play alongside each other. And then obviously you mentioned it, the new coach and Emi Udoka, who I feel like he'll he'll try to enforce his defensive mindset and implement that within the young talent that they already have. So next year, I do believe that this team can compete for some playing stuff. I'll leave, I know you have the statistics and everything. So I'll let you go ahead and speak on your opinion.
Yeah, I think you hit the head or hit the nail on the head with Jalen Green. It's going to be about what the next step is going to be for him. How is he going to improve this upcoming season? I just found a few stats on him. So 22 points a game last season on 41% from the field and 33, really almost 34. It's 33.8% from the 3-point line. So, stats are looking good, but I think it's going to be more about how the team fits around each other when you're bringing in a super athletic point guard and Thompson. Again, we all know about Kevin Porter Jr., so I'm curious to see how he's going to fit in with Whitmore and you also have Saints. How do you say his name? Shangun.
Yeah, I just call him Shingun.
Shangun. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to mess anybody's names up because I'm terrible with names, but yeah, no, Shangun is going to be really good, and so I'm just curious to see how they're gonna all fit together. And also they picked up some veterans that I think are gonna be very valuable pieces for them and Van Vliet and also Dylan Brooks. I know a lot of people were down on Dylan Brooks, especially after how things played out in the playoffs with the Memphis Grizzlies, but I think he brings a certain amount of toughness and a mentality that most people don't have in the NBA. I I think he has to get better, especially at the things that he's supposed to be good at, especially on the defensive end. I don't think he really performed well on the defensive end as much as people would think he does, especially for his skill set. Offensively, I feel like Dillon has to get better, but I do feel like he does bring value to a team, a certain mindset of toughness and just not backing down. So I feel like if he just gets better at a few things, he's going to be very valuable to this team. And a lot of young talent that I feel like Ime Udoka is going to have the ability to help them develop and figure out how they're going to come together as a team and win games. I feel like they're going to be a little bit better than they were last year. I think providing a little more structure to what they do on especially on the offensive end is going to be helpful. They're going to get better on the defensive end because that's what Ime Udoka, that's his calling card. That's what he brings to the table. And that is going to be where I feel he's going to try and make the most improvement for this team moving forward. It's going to be helped along with players like Thompson. And also, I didn't mention Jabari Smith. I feel like Jabari Smith is going to be helpful on the defensive end, but I was really impressed with his performance in the summer league. I feel like he made a lot of really good big jumps in terms of offense on the offensive end. Last year, it just seemed like, he was more of a catch and shoot kind of guy. And when you made him put the ball on the floor and where you made him have to make moves to score, he didn't really seem very comfortable. But in the summer league, it really showed in terms of his work ethic and what he's been working on over the summer to get ready for that opportunity. So I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing that translate over to the NBA game and seeing how well he improves there. So it's a lot of young talent on the team. I think that they are in a pretty good position and just looking forward to seeing them improve. I I don't know if they'll be in the play-in hunt, but I wouldn't rule it out either. I feel like they can make some strides, especially with, in my opinion, the Trailblazers. I'm not sure how well they're going to be performing, especially with all of the trade talks around Dame and stuff, whether they're going to trade them before the season or during the season. I feel like they might take a drop this upcoming season. So that leaves another spot that the Houston Rockets can jump up and try and get in the play-in or something like that. But the Houston Rockets, I feel like they're going to be a really exciting team to watch.
Yeah, I can understand you not feeling like they could make the play-in or be in that hunt because the 10 teams in the Western Conference were all got teams that, were had the potential to be in the top 8. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like the play-in hunt is just full of teams that would be at the bottom of the barrel. A lot of the play-in contenders are teams that you would, could see them being in the top 8 or the top 6. So I can understand that. But I just see improvements coming from, like you said, Jabari and Jalen is what I would expect. Obviously, it's going to be a year where you got to figure things out. Ime Udoka, this is a different group than what he had in Boston. Boston was a team that had a lot more experience, had playoff success. They had two different type of stars in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So, and it had a lot more veteranship and, proven players. So this is a different situation. So I
Mm-hmm.
can understand, but I think if Ime Udoka can get them to compete on the defensive end, I think defense can get you in that hunt. Offense is going to take time for them to figure out and become more established and understanding, what's a good shot, how they can find the right times to shoot the ball, because we know Jalen Green is the guy that can put him up quick, athletic, and he can be explosive with it too. Jabari Smith has shown that in college, and like you said, his improvement off the bounce, putting the ball on the floor, is going to be very important for this team. And then you have a skilled offensive big in Shingun, like I mentioned, and Van Vliet has a proven veteran player too. Ben Thompson, we know he's got that explosive talent. He's a pretty decent passer. You hope he can use his frame to be a very big plus on defense. So, yeah, like I said, it's a lot of optimism, a lot of figuring out. And I feel like if they can get in a flow where they can trust each other and where they can figure out how to play with each other and do that on both ends of the ball, I feel like they could be in that playoff hunt with, other young teams and teams that may be struggling, in a year like last year. Dallas, we didn't expect them to fall out of the play in. We thought they might could be in the play in, but I feel like they can compete with teams like that for this, whole playing thing. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. I do see a lot of optimism and hope for them to, show good signs. And you just hope, players can stay healthy, continue to get reps, which is what I think Jalen Green and other guys like that have been doing for these past two NBA seasons. So I think it's a big sign when you bring in a guy like Ime Udoka. I think what you're saying in that organization is, okay, we want to take the next step. So that's what I'm expecting for them to try to do with, like we keep mentioning all time and time again, this very talented young core that they have in Houston.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point that you bring up with the differences between what Boston was when Ime was there, and then also what this current Houston Rockets team is with him now taking the reins as the head coach. And I feel like you hit the nail on the head. They are looking to make improvements, which I feel like they are set up to, because last year you saw flashes of the young talent there, but
they put a whipping on the Lakers one game.
yeah, they did.
I
They
remember
did. They did. But it's they're still trying to figure it out. And like you said, understanding what's good offense and how to play defense at a level that's going to be
and to an extent,
help you win.
even
Uh-huh.
to an extent, like figuring out who's their guy. Jalen Green,
Yeah.
kind of places that guy, and then you have Jabari Smith come in. Like they still got to figure out the totem pole.
Mm-hmm. And again, I am really curious to see what's going to happen with Kevin Porter Jr. because for a while there, especially during Jalen Green's rookie season, it was Kevin Porter and Jalen Green who got a lot of those shots, who were the primary shot creators on the team. And so now I'm just curious as to see what that dynamic is going to look like, especially with somebody like Fred VanVleet, who you just paid a lot of money to come play for your team. And now you have Jalen Green, who is going to try and continue to take that next step. And I'm pretty sure Kevin Porter is going to be able to figure out, where he's going to be able to be aggressive, where he needs to pull back a little bit and things like that. And also now you have Jabari Smith, who is trying to make strides in his offense. You also have Şengün, who is a really skilled offensive big. So it's just a lot of different pieces that you have that I'm just looking forward to seeing how they're all going to fit together. And I think, especially with the three teams that we just talked about, that's really the big thing that they're going to be focusing on this upcoming season. How are we going to fit together? What's going to be the best lineups to put out there? And how are we going to improve not only individually, but as a team? So the Houston Rockets are, again, another young team that should be exciting. A lot of athleticism on the team, a lot of scoring on the team,
Yeah.
and just looking to see what that next step is going to be for them this upcoming season.